the
This
password, I
conference
don't
will
know.
now be
I
recorded.
thought I failed, but automatically it gets connected. I don't know how it
Yeah,
is.
you don't need a password. You just need a ID number. If you once you will add that ID, it will automatically connect it with the link.
Okay, because they're asking password, maybe some another candidate also facing same problem. I don't know, but I faced.
Okay.
That's why I said.
Okay, all right. But yes, it is like anybody can just click on the link. They will ask you to
Hmm.
download a webinar, and then
Yeah.
after that they will take directly you to there.
Okay, it means once you are starting, automatically get connected on the time.
Yes, one I will start. If I will not start, then it will show that you have to wait till the presenter start.
Yes. All
Okay,
right.
all right. So I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
A
great.
little bit
So
louder, if you don't mind.
louder. Okay.
Nice.
So you want me to louder?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I believe everybody has joined. Someone's name is not there. Okay, unknown persons are there. Anyhow, so Sophia. Okay, still a lot of people didn't join. Davinder, am I audible to you? Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. You guys can keep yourself muted. You know, because it's a recorded session, so anybody can have an access to this lecture later on. So I don't want anything to be interrupted when you listen recording. So it would be great if you can mute yourself, and of course you can unmute yourself if you have any questions in between. Okay, so can I start the session? Great. So as you guys know that this is going to be a writing session, and before I start a writing session, it is very important to have a little background. I know it's going to be a little big session, but I'm trying to cover you know, the criteria as well if it is possible. Okay, and then we will discuss about a letter, that what are the steps, what are the things which you need to keep in mind, how you have to write a letter, how to transform the case notes and everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna share a screen. So let me know if you guys are able to visualize this. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, great. Thank you so much.
JASLEEN, I have a question.
Yeah,
Is it important for me to attend this session?
it's up to you. It's not hard and fast rule. It's up to you. If you, it's up to you. Completely up to you. If you have a
Because
time, you must.
if we are doing speaking, then we will do that. I can do some practice because
It's up to you, dear.
I was already practicing, so I can carry on what I am doing. If when we do speaking, I will join in. Is that okay for you?
I don't have any issue at all, dear. But you know, if you think that you are okay with the writing, because I'm gonna discuss one letter as well, you don't have any issue in writing a letter, then it's fine.
Okay, I will see how long it will go. Then okay, I will stay for a while. Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be long. If you want, then initially you can. It's really up to you. So, guys, you all are free to attend this session. If you want, then only. There's no compulsion. Okay.
And tomorrow, what time we gonna have a morning session?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yes.
On the same Google Meet?
I will send the link. I will update on that.
Okay. All right
Okay.
then. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I will attend in the morning tomorrow.
Sure. Sure. Okay. All right, guys. So, this writing session, it's very important for you, those who are new to this OET writing. So for them, the basic idea is very important. Maybe most of you know that in IELTS there are two parts in writing. One is a letter or a graph, and another is a essay. However, in OET, there is only one letter. Okay, and you'll get almost 45 minutes to write a letter which should have only 180 to 200 words. So I believe that you have a lot of time, but important thing, you should know how to manage this time. How to write a letter is not difficult, but how to manage within the time limit is also important. Okay, out of this 45 minutes, 5 minutes is only for the reading, and during that 5 minutes, which is initial 5 minutes, you are not gonna use the pencil. That 5 minutes is only to read the task, to understand, so that later on you can write it. So we are going to discuss that how you can utilize that 5 minutes without using any pencil, and how you have to uh, calculate the further time. Okay, all right, so moving to that, first of all, it is important to understand what is the format of the letter, how to write a letter. So a letter will have three parts. Okay, first section, which is just the top of the triangle, very small. Okay, and the middle, of course, is the huge one, and the last is the end. So main part is the middle section on which we are gonna focus. Now, important thing for you guys to know that the counting, I told you there should be 180 to 200 words. So the first part of the letter and third part of the letter is not counted. They're not gonna count it. Okay, so keep that in mind. So only the middle section will be counted in that. All right, now coming to the first section, as I said, it is not counted, but it is equally important. There should be no mistake, because they expect you to know each and everything, and there is a format for that, and it is a part, the format, right format is a part of the assessment criteria. Okay, you are going to evaluate it on that as well. So few things which you need to keep in mind, that how you're going to start the letter. You can write the date on the top. It's completely your wish, or you can write it in between after the designation as well. So and you will always write today's date. For example, if you guys are going to write exam on 12 June 2021, so you're going to write it same as 12 June, 2021. All right, and then you can start with the name of the person, means to whom you are writing, the designation of that person. Of course, for example, if you're writing to a community health nurse, the name is given Mrs. Ria Clifton, and then designation is a community health nurse, and there will be a gap. You can, if you want, you can write the date here as well, or you can write the address after that. Start with the address, and then reference, and the salutation. Now reference means you're gonna write, like at the end of here it is written, if you can see that here it is, this is reference. So you will always represent reference as capital R, small e, and dots, and then the full name of the patient. For example, Mr. J. Smith. So this is the way to write the reference. Okay, and what about the salutation? I told you the salutation is like Mr., Miss, or Master. This is important for you guys to know that if a person is, now this is important because these mistakes are quite often. If it is given in a task that you're writing a letter to Mrs. Celia, so then you will write Mrs. Celia. If it is given Miss Celia, you will write Miss Celia, whatever is given in the task. Let's say it is not given. So then you will just write, you cannot assume that her age is 60 years, so I will write Mrs. No. So if nothing is given, Mrs. is not written, you will just write MS. MS. MISS Miss is for the younger girls less than 18. Okay, and master we use for the boys, basically between 10 to 14, or till 18 you can, but 18 we use a mister. Less than that you can count as a master. And remember, like there are a lot of tasks in which we write a baby. In an introduction, you can probably use this word once only for a baby, but don't repeat that baby word in the whole letter. You have to write the name. Okay, the first name. Now this is important for you guys to remember. If in adult case plus 18, we always address the patient by the last name. Let's say the name is, here it is written, name J Smith, so I will write Mr. Smith, right? So that you have to, in case if it is a minor, let's say it is a minor less than 18, then I will write J. No master, no mister, nothing. I will just write J. I will start with the name directly, the first name. So minus 18, always use the first name. Plus 18, use the last name. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great. So please remember, this is a fixed template. This part is fixed. It is not going to change in any type of letter. There are main 3-4 types: referral, discharge, transfer, or advisory, which is not that common now, but yeah, you should know about that as well. So in whatever the letter is, whatever the type of letter, this is fixed. There should be no mistake in that. Remember that. So it should be printed permanently in your mind. Okay, no mistakes. All right, so this is the first part. As I said, it is not counted. Now middle part, we'll talk about it later. First we'll talk about the last section. So the last section is nothing, just we write at the end. The last section is the closing of the letter. When we close, so we write a sentence every time. You can write anything, that please free to call me, thank you, and contact me in case of any concern. You can also write, should you have any query, do not hesitate to contact me, or please feel free to call me or contact me. Any line, whatever you like. Remember one line and don't do any mistake in that. If you are starting your sentence, now this is very important because most of the students do this mistake. When you write a sentence like, should you have any query, do not hesitate to contact me. This comma is very, very important after the query, because this is the next line. Do not, it's another subject. But yeah, you can also write in this way: do not hesitate to contact me in case of any query. Now here the comma is not required because the subject is one. But if you're starting with should you have or if you have, then you must use a comma after the query before the next subject. Okay? And then just a one line of last section, and then we write yours sincerely. Now this is very important. This is another mistake which is very common. When we write yours, Y should be capital. Only Y should be capital. Remember, sincerely's S will not be capital. It will always be small. Your sincerely. S will always be small. Never use a capital S. That's very common mistake. Now again, only two lines here. You'd write yet any query, contact me, yours sincerely, charge nurse. If your designation, like in the starting of the task, it's always given you are a charge nurse in a medical ward looking after Mr. X. So your name is not given, then don't write your own name. You can, because this designation is given that you're a charge nurse of medical ward of this hospital, then you can write yours sincerely, charge nurse, medical ward. That's it. Now this is the end of the last section. Again, because these are the basic lines, which is again fixed for all type of letters, and it's not gonna, they're not gonna count it. Okay, so what is main important is the middle section, because this is what is important. Middle section. Now what is that in the middle section that we'll talk about? Middle section is called the body of the letter. So you might have noted that in the writing task at the end it is always written the body of the letter should have 180 to 200 words. They don't say the letter should have. They say the body of the letter should have 180 to 200 words. So this is middle section is called the body of the letter. So it has 4 to 5 paragraphs. Okay. And it starts with the introduction. Starts with, I hope everybody has pen and paper in hand. You can, write down some of the important points, what you feel, and note down. Okay. And those who have are with me on daily basis, uh, I would like to see your notes after the session. Please share it on a WhatsApp. Okay. I would like to see that what kind of notes you have made. Okay. All right. So it has 4 to 5 paragraphs. Now, how it started starts with the introduction. In introduction, there are 3 things which is must to have in intro. Number 1, you're going to mention why you are writing a letter, which is called the purpose of the letter. Why you are writing a letter. For example, it's very common, you guys have seen that's right. I'm writing to refer Mr. X who requires an urgent assessment and further management. Now this is the purpose. Why I'm writing? I'm writing to an ENT doctor. The patient has come to me in a clinic and patient has a severe pain and I referred him to the ENT. So I will write, I'm writing to refer this patient for urgent assessment. Okay. Now, maybe you can write that his symptoms are, suggestive of inner ear infection or middle ear infection. Or, never write, I suspect inner ear infection. No, never use I, what you did know. So always write, his symptoms are suggestive of, this middle ear infection. So this is very, very important. Okay, so guys, just a minute. I just need a minute of you. I think one of my candidate is not able to join, so I have to send the link to her. Okay, so okay, anybody can explain me the types of the letter?
First of all, referral letter,
Mm-hmm.
transfer letter, then
Mm-hmm.
Referral letter.
Referral
Okay.
letter, transfer letter, information letter.
Referral letter.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So I just need a quick difference, a main difference between a transfer and referral letter. I know it in discharge it is quite common. In referral and discharge letter. Oh, sorry, referral and transfer letter. So can anybody explain that?
A referral letter is we are referring to a person. A transfer letter is means we are referring to an institution or any facility. It's not a person.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else would like to add in this? Yes. No. Okay. So what is the difference between a discharge and referral?
A discharge letter means the person is going to discharge to a home or in a nursing home, on their home or nursing home. And a
Mm-hmm.
referral letter is we are referring to a person for any
Great.
further
And
investigation.
mm-hmm. So what is the main difference between the discharge and referral letter, the format, if we talk about a format?
Referral letter we are writing to refer the person is
Mhm.
if he they needed for any further management of the we will writing to refer in that case. In discharge letter,
Mhm.
if we are writing to this person, if they
Mhm.
needed for any continuing care and according to
Mhm.
following his discharge.
Mhm. Okay, great. Right. Okay. Now remember important points. Refer when it is a referral letter, remember that means you are always writing this letter to a new person. New person. It's an unknown case for that person. So that means you're gonna give all the details like past medical, social, family, all you're gonna share everything with that person. When it comes to a discharge letter, that means um, a known person to that particular person to whom you're writing this letter. So you will just share the details from the admission till discharge, nothing else. I hope you all got the clarity between the referral, discharge, and transfer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So we were
Can
talking
you
about,
explain once more?
sorry?
Can you explain once more?
Yeah, so as I said, referral and transfer, this the format is same for both of them. Format, when I say the format means the idea to understand, it is always to a unknown person, the person who is unknown. Okay, so if a person is unknown, let's say I'm a nurse who is going to take care of this patient after the discharge, and I don't know anything about this patient because I have never seen, it's a new case for me. So I need to know everything of detail of the patient, his medical history, his past medical background, his social history, everything. But in a discharge format, these all things, that person will be known to me. So you don't need to write all other details. You will just write the details from the admission date till the discharge date. Nothing else.
Jasleen,
Recently, I've
ma'am,
seen one. Yes. Yes.
can I ask question?
Yes, please.
Like I said in the referral letter,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
are going to write all the story because that person is unknown for the
Yeah.
patient.
Yes.
Also, we have to think about the specialty, like if I'm writing a particular person's, whatever he's
Uh-huh.
needed, like the physiotherapist, either the dietitian, then we have to
Yeah.
think what background is needed for him. Only that background we have to come in.
Absolutely right. Well appreciated. Very good point you said. Thanks for adding that. So it's a very good point to you brought it, that this actually, yes, this is again the purpose, that when you write that particular to person and what all the information
Mm,
is needed for that person, it is very well
mm,
said, it is related to that as well. But when I am saying that, I'm just clarifying the doubt
okay,
of a referral and discharge. Okay, now what you said, it
okay,
comes on a topic under relevant information and irrelevant information.
right.
Okay, I will definitely explain that, but that information which you shared now, it comes under a part of relevant and irrelevant information. Okay,
Okay,
so we will definitely
okay,
talk about that. But yes, it's a very good point
thank
which you said. So now important is to hear what I was saying, to understand the format, because it should be very clear to you the moment you read a writing task. It should be very clear to you that it is a referral, discharge, or a transfer. If it is a referral transfer, you know that I have to give all the information. If it is a discharge, then I have to share only admission to discharge. That means only the hospital explanation you have to give, nothing else. So
okay,
that's what you need to know. Sorry, I started with, now in intro you are gonna mention the 3 points. Okay, first is the purpose, why you are writing a letter. Second is the current condition of the patient. When I say current, that means current. Never start with the past medical history. Let's say that's a very common problem. Let's say the patient, it's an emergency case and the patient's sugar is high. Okay. And in introduction, you're writing patient has been diagnosed with diabetic since 2009. Now that doesn't make sense to me. I am a reader. I'm a doctor, and you are sending this patient urgently to me. I usually the medical profession don't have that much time, so always highlight the important points. No need to highlight the things which are normal or which are not that relevant. When you are saying it is an urgent assessment, and you're telling me in a important information that he has diabetes, it is important for me to know, but it is not that important. What I need to know that what happened now, why you're saying urgent, and why now. So that information should be in the first. So always write the current condition in the intro. Current condition is that his blood sugar is high. I will quickly understand. Now, as a doctor, I know if blood sugar is high, he will be diabetic. You can tell me that later or in the first para, but not in intro. I hope it's clear to everyone. So always write the current condition in the introduction. And third is the discharge. If it is like discharge is given, then only you write. I've seen that most of the students mention it even though patient was not admitted. The patient visited in the clinic and and referred from there to somebody else. He was not admitted, but still some of the students they mention and is being discharged today. So don't do that mistake. If your patient not admitted, so keep that in mind. Okay, so these are the three important, guys. You can mute from your side. So these are the three things which you need to keep in mind. Okay, in intro. So after the introduction, your first para will come. Now that is what is explanation. The background of the letter will be your introduction. After this, the first para, under this first para, you are going to explain the purpose. Now remember assessment criteria of writing. First assessment is purpose. If your purpose is clear, you'll get 3 marks. If not clear, maybe 2, 1, 0. So based on your introduction, I will understand that I have to give you B or not. Because if your intro is wrong, then I will not waste my time to read rest of the letter. Because I know if your purpose is wrong, there is no point of reading the further letter. So make sure you select the right purpose and write in a proper way of intro. Now first para, now second assessment criteria is content. That means whatever the purpose is, you're gonna explain that in the first paragraph. So like you said, purpose is this patient require urgent assessment, then you are going to write in a first para why this patient need urgent assessment. Then you will write, today presented to me, he appeared in this and this way, his symptoms were this, and on assessment this were found, and investigation shows high blood sugar. Now I need this current information. Don't give me a past medical history that he has been diagnosed with diabetic mellitus since 2009, he was on metformin, he was on insulin. Whatever he was taking for last 20 years, it is not important for me now. I need to know why now. So this all information will come in the second para about the diabetes explanation. Okay, so the first paragraph should have the key information. Second paragraph should have the secondary reason. What is the secondary reason? What is the other reason? Other reason could be, maybe let's say an example that I'm writing this letter to a rehab center. So I will tell the second reason as a social life, that he lives alone. There's no one. Now he lives alone. It gives a feeling, okay, so there's nobody at home to take care. So that could be the second reason. But in case of this diabetes which we were talking, now in the second para you will give the diabetes history, because that is also relevant for me. I need to know that what the medication he was taking earlier, or he was on insulin, or any previous episode of syncope or hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. So all that past history will come in the second para related to the diabetes. related to the diabetes. Don't write he had heart or problem, he had this. That will come later in the third para. But key information, secondary information should be in the second para. So third para, you can write other relevant information if he had something like any past medical history or any regular medications he takes. So that will come. So the final will be the conclusion, the request, final request. Remember the meaning of your introduction, the meaning of your purpose, and your final request should be same, but there should be different sentences and different phrases. But the meaning should be different. It is not that in intro you are saying that please look, do an urgent assessment that for this patient for diabetes, and in the final request you are writing please um, uh, uh, kindly monitor his blood pressure or kindly monitor his this. I mean, remember the final request should be same as the intro. Okay, so this is the middle section, and this should have 180 to 200 words. Very important. So I just want to share a few tips of the writings. Always organize the information clearly. Very important. Some of the students, what they do, they feel that they learn some of the connecting words like in addition, subsequently, consequently, however. Also, use these words if you know them correctly how to use. If you don't know, don't take a risk. Even if you will write a simple letter without using these connecting words, you can get 350. If you will write a simple letter, your organization is fine, your purpose is right, everything is fine, you can easily get 350. But if you don't know how to use these words and you are doing an experiment on the day of test, then it will be a disaster. Okay, so don't do that until unless you don't have a clarity. Don't use any word or phrase like that. Okay, highlight the primary purpose of the letter at the start. As I said, it must be in the intro. Very important. Be clear about the level of the urgency for the communication. Very important. In task, if it is written immediate assessment, urgent assessment, you must write it. Don't forget. If you forget the word urgent or immediate, from B you will come to the C plus. Just a one word of urgent will take you from 350 to 300. Remember that. So don't do that mistake. Be very clear with the level of urgency. Okay. Always keep in mind the reason for the writing and the what reader must need to know. What I want to know, that's what here it comes what Romy you said, that what is relevant for physio or dietitian. What I need. If I'm a dietitian and you're writing a letter to me to assess the swallowing status or nutritional status of the patient, and you are telling me that he had a heart attack, CPR was done, this medicine emergency drugs were given, he was
That is
saved.
not related.
Yeah, so that is all irrelevant information. I don't need
Right.
that. Yeah. So you need to keep in mind what now I will share a very common mistake. Now dietitian physio everybody knows. Now most of us has a fixed this thing in our mind that in first paragraph I will write all admission details. Admission detail means patient admitted on this date, this was signs and assessment was done, he was on this medication, this the treatment was commenced. Now everybody has this fixed format in the mind. Remember, there is no fixed format for the OET. If you will follow a fixed format, it's very difficult to get B. So never mug up any lines or do, because it all depends. If I'm writing to a doctor, then I need to share all the hospital details, that what medication he's taking. Then even it is important, don't write if you're writing to a doctor that his BP was high. I am a doctor. I know what is high and low. You just write a figure that it is 160/90. I know it is high. You don't need to tell me it is high, right? So when you're writing to a doctor, always write the figures of vital signs, of the doses of the medications, or any changes in that, how investigation, if a CSF value sample was taken, and then you must write that this is what in the LP his lumbar puncture test was done, and his sugar level this and this and this. You need to share all that relevant information because you're writing to a doctor. Share the figures. Now if you're sharing all this to information to a person who let's say you're writing this letter to a rehabilitation nurse. Now that is not important for me to know in so detail about it. I just need to know that why this patient required rehabilitation. So just give me an overview that he was admitted, the surgery was done, how the surgery was done, what are the instruments or equipments were used. I don't need to know. I just need to know this surgery was done and what I have to do now. So you have to
Jaslene,
decide.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell me.
actually, can you give me as you were explaining, really were explaining nicely, but things like we always worried about having a 180 to 200 word, and
Mhm.
if you're writing as now you said, we are going to write a letter to rehab. Okay, then we are buried. We are having only few word. How we can expand? That's why we are making so many story. Exactly, we are not able to understand how can collect all the related word for the particular persons with the relevant
Mhm.
one, but in the later
Mhm.
only few things there to write. There is no so many things we can collect and create a sentence. I write a rehab center. That's why this
Mhm.
problem is, I can say it is my personal problem, which I face a
Mhm.
problem. If I'm writing rehab, I get only few things like a few number to write,
Mhm.
but I have to write
Mhm.
this many things to complete the
Hmm.
word. How can?
Hmm. Okay, so it really depend on the task that what all information they have shared in that. But as a rehab nurse, as you're saying that you don't get much information, right, to share,
Hmm.
then you have to write the explanation. Okay, for the
Yeah.
rehabilitative nurse point of view, think that what all I need to know exercise, what was done, any
Yeah.
physio that was done. So I will focus more on that if that information is shared, that when his rehab was, his exercise or physio was started in the hospital. So I will share all that. Let's say if he underwent surgery on this date, and after the surgery, soon after the surgery or post operatively, on very next day the physiotherapy were initiated, or these exercise he was able to walk, he was doing this. So then you need to write about his
Oh,
walking or mobility status in that, not the other
okay,
information
okay.
about the medication. Now
Okay.
we will,
That one
when you will
has
write
to
a
go
rehab letter.
according. Uh-huh. Sorry.
So yeah, tell me.
Yeah, and that one also have to go according the sequence, like you say, like urgency, like if, intro and the para, first one and second, according the sequence of the we have to follow.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
just give
Excuse
me a
me, ma'am.
second. Yeah, tell me please.
Yes, ma'am. I have a few more doubts because in
Yeah.
sometimes I'll tell one purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes is recovering from left knee replacement surgery, and he requires continuing care or ongoing care and management. Then I will
Mm-hmm.
write in the first body para.
Mm-hmm.
He is admitted on this date and he underwent this the above the surgery. It's underwent successfully. Is there any necessary to repeat the same thing in the body para, or we need to
Not
write
at
only
all.
like during?
Not at all. Never repeat that. Thank you so much for highlighting this, because this is also a very, very common mistake. If you have written in an intro that he underwent surgery, okay, so don't repeat that in the first para. No need to. Then probably you can start directly by saying that, that please post operatively, start with the post operatively things.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. One more thing. In
Yeah.
some letters, in there is a discharge plan. Is uh, there is too much task is there. It's a discharge plan is the number of discharge plan is there. So either I can write it in the introduction para is the, for example, he has been continued with the this exercises. So I can add that in my body para also, or otherwise I can write in the discharge plan according.
So sorry, I didn't get it. What you can write in discharge?
No, ma'am. Is sometimes the discharge plan is number of the purpose is there. The discharge purpose is there. So I can add it is so sorry. I can along with I can write along with the body para. If some treatment is needed to.
Yes, very good point. So this is called linking the phrases, and that always enhance your scoring. It is very important, but yes, you have to be very carefully. For example, I got your point. Probably, let me know if I'm rightly understood you. Um, for example, in during the stay, his dressing was started. No, we write the dressing was initiated, and in the discharge plan it is also given that daily dressing further required. You know, then probably you can, instead of writing was done, you can write has been initiated, or it was started and which has to be continued further. Okay, so you can definitely write all that information which is given in the discharge plan instead of writing in the discharge para. If it is in the mention in the first or second, you can connect it there. I will discuss one letter now, and probably you will understood when I will connect the words over there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so that's very important thing. Focus on important and relevant information, and always maintain a neutral and professional tone. Now this is very important. That's what I always say, that never use should, because should is something which shows that you are ordering the person, right? So it doesn't give you good way to go through that. So I just want to request, I don't know how many of you have joined, because some of the um, candidates, it's only 26. I don't know why she's not able to join. Hmm. Okay, so Rekha, are you listening to me? Rekha, are you there?
Yes, I am there, Jasleen.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you're listening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm not able to add somebody, but let me see if I can. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm gonna discuss a letter. So, okay. Let me see if you guys can see the screen, this task. Yes. Can you see the task now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now this is a very good task. Probably you guys will understand it. Now look at this task. As I said, it is very
I'm
important to
sorry it
understand
is
now the
demanding
steps.
enlarging. I'm sorry it is too small for me.
Too small.
Yeah,
Then probably you need to, let me take
my
on it this
tablet,
way.
in my tablet it is not coming. Yeah, now it's much better. Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
all right.
it's
Now,
excellent.
remember, it is always written reading time 5 minutes, writing time 40 minutes. Now I will tell you what to do in that 5 minutes and how you can utilize this 40 minutes. There is some disturbance. It would be great if you can just mute at your end, please. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so before I start, let me know if anybody has done this task before.
No, ma'am.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is the task. Basically, I just want to discuss. As I told you, your task in the exam will start like this. You are the nurse on a shift at maternity ward at Women's College Hospital. Your patient is being discharged today. So, what is important? There are few questions which you need to ask when you start reading the letter. First of all, who are you? As it is very clearly given, you are a nurse on the shift at maternity ward in this hospital. All right, so I know I'm a nurse. That, of course, it's a nursing sample, so you are a nurse. Okay, so second, to whom you are writing. Now, I don't have that, and I will read that further. And third, why I'm writing and the type of letter. Now, all this answer I will get in the last of the letter where you will directly go. Just all the moment you'll get this paper in hand without wasting time, just read the first line that which is like you are the nurse, okay, on this ward. Okay, now I got the patient name. So what I'll do, I'll go to the writing task where it is written, you are the nurse on shift at the maternity ward of Women's College Hospital. Using the information provided in the case notes, write a referral letter to the Director of Refugee Shelter for Women, 105 West Street, Toronto, where the patient needs to be admitted for short-term emergency accommodation and support services. Now, I have answer of all my questions in this task. So what are the questions I have? Who am I? I'm a nurse in this maternity ward, okay, in this hospital. I'm writing this letter to the director. Now, it is a referral letter. It's written here. It's a referral letter. And I'm writing this letter to the Director of Refugee Shelter for Women. Okay, director. That means non-medical person. Yes, it's a non-medical person of refugee shelter. Okay, address is there. Great. So, why I'm writing a letter to the director? Because I want my patient has to stay there after the discharge for short-term emergency accommodation is required and some support services are required. So, purpose is very, very clearly given. You have to write in a proper way in the introduction now. Okay, like you can write, I'm writing to refer, or I'm writing to refer Miss so and so for this. So, or I'm writing to request short-term emergency accommodation and support services for Miss Ray. The patient name is Ray, and her, we'll read further now. It is written here for the patient name details we don't have. Okay, but I know the purpose now, that it's a short-term emergency accommodation and support services. Now, this is a very different letter, as like you guys were talking about physio, dietitian. Now, this is a non-medical director of refugee shelter. Okay, now I understood. I'll go back. This is the first step what I will do in that 5 minutes. This probably you can do in just 1 minute. And what is the next 4 minutes you're going to do? You are not allowed to touch the pencil during this time, remember. And you will not touch. Follow the instructions. Okay, so the patient detail is given, name Ria Ray, date of, I will just go through it and scan, read everything. Date of birth 98, admission date 21st Feb 18, discharge date 27 Feb. That means she was admitted for almost 6 days. Okay, country of birth Canada. All right. Social background is given, marital status single, lived with. I have to read every because this is a referral letter. So I will read. Now, since it is a referral letter, now you guys will tell me what is relevant and irrelevant. Now tell me, this social background, is it relevant? Is this a relevant information, social background?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
it is relevant because it's
Yes,
going for
yes,
the
yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So it's like marital status, single, lived with boyfriend, August 2017, present, means till now. Okay, all right. So this is important. Current boyfriend, 23 years, verbally abusive, 3 months. She doesn't want to live with him. He's not a father of child. Okay, all right. I got the information. No contact with father of child, lives in Europe. Okay, she doesn't have contact with him. Fine. Cashier currently unemployed. Okay, next of kin sister who is married, so that means nobody's with her. Parent died, nobody's there. Aunt, mother side lives 4 hours away in phone contact, only phone contact. So what I understood is this all information is important. Remember the purpose. What is the purpose? I'm requesting the director for a short term stay. Now I have the reason here from the social background. I think this is the explanation why she need a short term stay, because now earlier she was living with a boyfriend who left her, is not a father of a child, and sister is, I mean, there's no point, sister is married, parent, there's no parent, and there's one aunt who is just on a phone contact. So all this information is quite relevant and the main reason for writing a letter. Now coming to the medical history. No reported past illness or allergies. Tonsillectomy at 14. Nil alcohol cigarette. Depression since death of parent untreated. Now tell me, what is relevant out of this medical history?
Depression.
Depression since death of parent.
And
Okay, and tonsillectomy?
No need.
No, ma'am. No
Not
need.
required.
No need. No, no.
Why? Why no need?
Because already done that
This on
surgery
teenage
when she was
age, ma'am.
14 years. So it is irrelevant.
Okay, all right. And no reported past illness or allergies. Because there's no, that means no need to write. Remember the things which are no need to write. Okay. All right. Now coming to the obstetric history. First antenatal visit at 14 weeks, total visit 6, no complications, antireceptor, folic acid, vitamin D, and calcium. So what is relevant out of this? Quickly. Anything relevant out of this?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
No, ma'am. No.
No? Mm-hmm.
First visit.
She's pregnant visitor.
First visit is relevant, I
I
think
think
so.
it's relevant, ma'am, that visit, and the remaining visit also it's, I think, relevant for her, and medicine also it's, she's pregnant, no? Maybe it's relevant, ma'am, or
So I'm requesting after the delivery. Remember, very important. You're
No,
missing the
after the
important fact.
delivery, no need to inform anything about the medication.
Sure. So do I need to, if the patient is delivered, do I need to share the other things? Okay, anyway, we will read it further. So what is the next, right? Okay, so I will put this on a doubt. I will put a dot on this. So things which are clear to me, I'll take, I'll put a dot on this. Okay. Now the birth details. Now when already she delivered and I'm shifting the patient after delivery, patient and baby both, mother and baby both. Do I need this history of antenatal?
No,
No
ma'am.
need.
no,
No,
ma'am,
ma'am.
no,
No, it is completely irrelevant.
no, ma'am.
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
great. Now coming to the birth details. Is it important?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What?
vaginal delivery, female baby, and
Everything
weight
is
of the
important
baby.
or something is important?
Something is important.
Ma'am, some things are important, not
Something
everything.
only.
No. Tell me
Type of
then, what is the
delivery,
thing?
date of birth, female baby, and weight of the baby.
Weight of the baby. Okay. Male and female baby is not that important, but yes, the weight of the baby is important. Okay. All right. What else? Date of birth?
Date of birth.
and I think this is also important, breastfeeding with hesitations, because it's going there. Someone
Oh, this
have to
is
look
in the
after.
next. I'm talking about birth details. So here
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think important present at house, no. Vaginal delivery, no. This is also not important. He is a director. Remember, whenever you select any
Yes.
relevant and irrelevant information, you should always ask yourself again and again to whom I'm writing. I'm writing to a director of refugee department for the state. So what he has to do, how the baby was delivered, when was delivered, what the contractions, date of birth. He doesn't have to do anything with that, right? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will take only select one option out of here, that is wait, nothing else. Okay. Now coming to the postnatal progress. Tell me, what is all important for him? Remember, I'm writing to director. I'm again and again repeating. Same way you have to ask yourself again and again. You're writing to a director of refugee department for the stay purpose only. Postnatal progress,
Yeah,
minimal blood loss. Relevant or not?
No.
irrelevant. It is not.
Irrelevant.
No.
Irrelevant. Irrelevant.
Okay.
Irrelevant.
HB is this important?
Irrelevant.
No.
No,
No.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
HB
Relevant.
Normal,
0.
ma'am.
Okay. If you think relevant, then why?
It's normal, ma'am.
Because that is not a medical person, as earlier
Yeah,
you
it is
said.
non-relevant. Yes. Breastfeeding with hesitation, prefer to change to bottle feeding.
Yeah, it is irrelevant. It is
It's
irrelevant
irrelevant.
because she is going for the rehab for the while.
Okay, let me explain now this to you. If I will think, okay, that I'm writing to a director for the stay, why he should be worried about the bottle feed and breastfeed? So what I have to do, how I have to decide, I have to read the discharge plan first. Remember, before you, now this is very important. If you will do like this, always keep in mind when you select relevant or irrelevant information, there are two things which will you will do. First, you will keep on asking yourself to whom you are writing, and second, you should know all the points mentioned in the discharge plan. Let's say now in discharge plan what is mentioned. First thing is mentioned, refer to clinical psychologist. Clinical psychologist. Why I'm referring? For emotional support and
Emotional
counseling
support and
regarding
counseling.
parents and boyfriend.
Right.
Relationship dynamics. Okay. So that means it is imperative for me to mention about her depression. If I will not mention about the depression, probably then it doesn't make sense if I will write in the discharge plan for the psychologist. I have to tell her that she is depressed after since the birth of since the death of parents. Yes, now that will make sense, and I can connect it there. Let's say if I'm mentioning this stress problem, depression problem in the first para or second para, then I can connect it there. For that, she has been advised to, she has been referred to a psychologist. Now, refer to women's refugee shelter temporary. This is why you're writing. Fine, advised for to apply for single mother benefits. Okay, lies with local maternal health services for ongoing postnatal monitoring. Now, this is important to know. If I'm saying to the director that please make sure that she should have a review with the local maternal health services for postnatal monitoring, then I have to tell the problems as well. So I will mention about the postnatal problems, that there is a breastfeeding with hesitation. So this is the relevant information as per the discharge plan. I hope it is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, great. So baby weight at discharge, yes, because I'm writing at the time of birth as well.
Important.
So I have to write. Now, this is what you need to keep in mind. The moment you see here baby weight at discharge is this, quickly go and see the birth weight. It was 3.77. So there is a progress. So I need to highlight this.
Increased.
I should I should make a sentence like birth weight was this, and now it has increased to this. Right? So this is how. Now I have selected the first stage. I have done. I have read all the questions. I found the answers. Now second, I selected the case relevant case notes, and so always once you're 5 minutes over and they ask you to use a pencil, you pick up the pencil, and same time you start putting tick and cross. Cross for irrelevant and tick for relevant information. Now you don't need to look again on the things which you are already crossed. Okay,
We
now
are
your steps.
authorized, we can cross.
Yes, you can. It is your paper,
Oh,
question paper.
oh,
You
thank you,
can.
madam. Yeah,
Okay,
thank
you
you.
can. You can use a pencil. Like you can see here also it is put cross and tick. You can do
Yes,
like this
yeah,
in an
yeah.
exam as well.
Okay.
Okay, and then after that you can, once you select, then you will think about organization. Organization means what I'm going to write in the first para. Intro is clear to you as it is very clearly given in the writing task. Now you know what I'm going to write in a first para. Now first para, as I told you, is an explanation of your purpose. Your purpose is short term stay, that why she needs short term stay, and support services is a secondary reason. So very clear, when you have a two task like this, it is very easy to understand that in first paragraph I'm going to explain about that why she needs a short term stay, and second paragraph I will explain that why she need a support services. Now which support services she needs? She needs psychological and mental health, maternal health. So that means all these two problems related to psyche, depression, and related to breastfeeding I'm going to mention in second para. So first para is she admitted why she needs stay. Is this a medical reason that she need a stay in the that refugee shelter, or her social
No,
history is the
It is,
problem?
Social
Which
social
is the
it's a
history.
main
history.
most
problem?
psychological.
Social, ma'am.
Social
Social
history is
history,
the.
ma'am.
Social, ma'am.
Yes, so never ever start in this kind of a letter with the medical history. If as an examiner I saw that you have written a first line that Mrs. Ray admitted in our hospital with this and this she delivered, this done, I will understood that you are following a fixed pattern and you are not selecting as per the case rule. So I will, without reading further, I will give you C if everything else is fine. Okay, so please keep that in mind, that it is very, very important how to start your letter. Okay, so I will share this task with on WhatsApp group on with my students, and you guys can write and send this letter to me by tomorrow.
So,
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
however,
Yeah.
I would like to show you one of the sample, like you can start your letter like this, in which you can write the date 27 February 2018 on the top, write the director, refugee shelter for women, 105 Wheat Street, Toronto, this. Now, this is the exact formula. You will write Dear Sir, Madam, because it is a director, name is not there, so you will write Dear Sir or Madam. Reference, you will always leave one line in between that. Remember this gap. This will be the same format you have to follow. Now till reference, it is the first part of the letter which is fixed for all types of letter. You will write the reference, date of birth like this.
Ma'am, which one is the correct format for the age we wrote in the letter? Is it aged 69 or 69 years or 59 years old?
Everything is right. If it is clear to you where to put a hyphen. Sometimes you need to put a hyphen if it's odd even, but anyhow, just to with the simple thing you need to follow, just write always aged 63, AGED 63.
Okay.
And if date of birth is given, just write a date of birth. Don't waste time in calculating the age.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the first part of the letter, and you will always follow this format. Remember that. Is it clear to all the beginners? Devinder, I hope you're getting me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So this is the first part of your letter which is fixed. So you will always write date, the person to you are writing, designation, address, then gap. One line gap is important. Dear sir, madam, again leave one line and then write the reference. in reference, write the full name of the patient, Miss Ria Ray, comma, date of birth or age. You will always, when you will write a letter to me, please use a single line sheet and always write a letter with the pencil. I don't want to say any letter with the pen.
Ma'am, is it necessary to put comma after the sir or madam?
Comma, no, you can put just, I mean, you can put, it's up to you, sir or madam, you can put just oblique or a comma, anything, doesn't mind. Okay, you're saying after the sir and madam, comma? No,
Yes, ma'am.
it is not.
After the sir and
Even
madam.
if you will put, they are not gonna cut your marks for that. It is fine. Okay, so now as I said, now till reference is my first part. Now my first part is over. This paragraph is called introduction. So there are many ways. You can also write I'm writing to refer, but this is always the safest and the best way to write as a request. I'm writing to request short-term emergency accommodation and support services for Miss Ray and her newborn baby, because this is for baby as well. So I have to mention, followed by their discharge today, because she's being discharged, right? So presently she doesn't have place to live. If you want to write, it's okay. Otherwise, till today is a good introduction. So otherwise you can write she doesn't have place to live. It's up to you. Okay. And then if you don't write this line, then even it is okay. Now, as I said, the first paragraph will be explanation of the introduction of your purpose. Your purpose is she need a short-term stay. So now you need to give this explanation that why she need accommodation in the first para. So I will write all the relevant information that Miss Ray is single. She has been living with her boyfriend since 2017, because it is given there. There is a given hyphen boyfriend, hyphen present. It's very important. Please note that this point, because whenever you get this kind of a signs in your letter, I want to just highlight here. Now look at here. I'm just focusing on this. She lived with boyfriend Anton Campbell, August 2017 hyphen present. So whenever there is a sign of hyphen or question mark or any sign like this, you must make a sentence of that. It's very important to score high. Okay, now same way I need to highlight here. So because if it is still present, then I have to use since past till now. Which tense? Present perfect continuous, right? So I will write she has been living with her boyfriend since 2017. Now she doesn't want to live as she is a victim of verbal abuse for past 3 months. Apart from this, she doesn't have contact with the father of her child. Okay, you don't need to mention that father is someone else, but main point is she doesn't have contact with the father of a child. Her parent died 1.5 years ago, 1.5 years ago, and her aunt lives 4 hours away. Presently, she is unemployed. Now, I have given all that information, all that reasons. Guys, you can mute from your side. I can hear some background noises. Thank you. So, I have given all the relevant reasons in the first para, that why she need accommodation, because she lives alone now, not living with boyfriend. Now father of the child is also, she doesn't know where is he, and the parents are not there, aunt lives 4 hours away, and she's unemployed, right? So I've given all the reasons in the first. Reasons should be there, main reason should be there in the first para. I'm saying again and again, remember that. Now the second para, Miss Ray was admitted in our hospital on 21st Feb. Now here you write, and delivered a healthy female baby. During the stay, initially she was reluctant for breastfeeding and prefers bottle feeding. Baby was feeding well, or baby is feeding well, and his weight increased from 3.77 to 3.95. You can write in other way. You can make sentence in any way which you want. So upon discharge, Ms. Ray has been provided with brochures to apply for single mother benefits. Kindly liaise her with local maternal health services for ongoing postnatal monitoring. a clinical psychologist referral is imperative to counsel her for relationship dynamics and to provide emotional support. Thank you for your support. Please contact me in case of any further concern. Yours sincerely, charge nurse. Now, this last part is the last section. Again, it is not counted. So this is how we write a letter. This is one of the way. I'm not saying this is the only way or this is the only best way. No, there are many ways to write a letter. Okay, this is just one of that which I shared. You can write even better than that. Okay, so
Ma'am,
and I would like to see that tomorrow. Yes, tell me now.
in that social history, we can add along with that father's and mother's demise. With along with after that, she has experience with some emotional disturbances.
And you have to see it shouldn't be that big one. The paragraph one should not be that big one. Write the main reason because main reason is related to the stay, not to the depression.
Okay.
Okay. I have to mention all the reasons related to the stay in the first para, and second para is about other support services. In that you can mention about psychologist or the other problems of stress and all.
Yes, fine. Thank you.
You can write in. This is one of the way you can maybe write better than this. Okay. I hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
questions for me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm happy to answer it. Now, more questions?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a
Excuse me,
question.
ma'am.
Yes, please tell me. Yes, guys,
Ma'am,
ask
is
me.
the right yes, ma'am. Is the right way we write in the discharge plan? We can
Mhm.
write it. It would be greatly appreciated if you could provide it. Then we can write in the this discharge plan after that.
No, it would be greatly appreciated is the final request. Discharge will
Okay.
come first, final request will come later.
Yes.
Yes. Anything
Jaslin,
else?
ma'am,
Yes, Toby.
it is important to we have to paraphrase some word.
It is
Either
very
we can go
important.
if it doesn't know, then we can just go as it is written.
If you think that there will be mistake, if you're not sure that the sentence is right, then you can, probably write the same. But yes, but they cannot deduct the marks. But
Okay,
probably then you will get only
uh,
350, not 380 or 400 plus like that.
because I see even in this letter is if in the discharge last point is written lies with the
Mm-hmm.
local maternal health service. It is written in the same para like a same line.
No, it is written lies with local maternal health services for
Yes.
ongoing
Yeah.
postnatal monitoring, right? And
Hmm.
let's look at the sample. It says, okay, it says, where is that? Yeah. So upon discharge, Miss Ray has been provided with the brochures to apply for single mother benefits. Kindly lies her with local maternal health services for ongoing postnatal monitoring. Yes. It is written like same.
Yeah.
But yes, you can write in a different way
Yeah.
as well. That will increase your score.
Yeah, because as now if I can say I doesn't understand what does mean by
Yeah,
lies.
you can. Yeah, just
LIA.
make it different that kindly, engage or kindly arrange a visit with maternal health services.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay.
Okay. I hope it's clear to
And
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
tell me.
ma'am.
If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Can you just repeat about second paragraph?
Yeah, second paragraph, as I said, you are gonna write all about the support services. That is a secondary reason. What are the other reasons why she needs a support? She needs supports only in two things, from psychologist or from maternal health. So you're going to mention the problems related to that in second para. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would like to see your letters, dear. You can write the letter and send to me
Yes, ma'am.
by tomorrow morning. Yes.
Ma'am, can we write a letter like in second paragraph, like 4 days later, comma, she represented like that? Can we write?
You're talking on a point of view of this letter
No,
or
ma'am,
generally?
another letter.
On
I'm
a,
just I
okay.
asking whether we can write
Yeah,
like that or not.
yes, absolutely. If after 4 days, if she represented or revisited the clinic, yes, you can write that. And it is
Okay, okay,
always
ma'am.
good
Thank
to
you so
use the
much.
duration instead of the date.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, is there any
Yes.
chance of getting a referral or anything is same like any music therapist rather than any kind of person? There is any chance, ma'am? Physiotherapy, I know, but if any family license, I didn't heard that, but I'm asking, ma'am, there is any chance of coming? What I should include for that letter for the relevant information?
For the physiotherapist?
No, physiotherapy,
Mm-hmm.
I know, ma'am, but is uh, last I recently I did one the music therapy. Rather than this, any person is if I didn't mean I don't, ma'am. This family license means
Mm.
uh, it's what we
Liaison
should
means.
include. Yeah,
Okay, so you're asking me the meaning of liaison, right?
ma'am, it's a person. No, is service. Some services is providing for
Yeah, liaison
family
means
license.
yes, contact with local. Lies with that contact with local maternal health services.
Okay.
Okay, that you are requesting the director to contact the local maternal health services for her support.
Okay. Now, ma'am, my question is the same person we need any chance of getting, so there is any chance of referring the letter to any family license in case. So,
Family liaison,
what we,
yeah. Yes,
uh,
then you can say that that kindly try or please try to contact her family if possible through her aunt, because right now it is given only her aunt and her sister. So then you can ask her to try to contact her sister or aunt so that they can arrange a further stay for her. If something is like that is given in the task, then you can definitely, you just will mention the line. You're not gonna tell them that you know that they are going to see the patient. But if it is mentioned in the task, then only.
no, ma'am, actually, sorry, my question is if this person we are writing as I'm referring to a family license, not an
Mm.
so in case what uh, information I should include in that letter, I am asking
Okay.
that one.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Okay, so now you're saying that if in case instead of writing this letter to director, if you're writing a letter to the family,
Ma'am, family license.
yeah, family liaison, so then you will share all that information from the hospital till discharge, because from the family liaison you don't need to tell the other information. You will just tell the things, what are the things the family could help, because let's say it will be, the material will be given in the task. Let's say for example the patient is depressed after death of, so you will request her that counsel her family and encourage her, teach the or educate the family to encourage her or to talk to her or to give her a emotional support or a family support, so, or she needs an assistance, so like that instructions you will give them. But yes, you are not going to share any other history like in a
Medical.
hospital, but yes. Medical history, of course, is irrelevant, like weight of the baby and all that is not relevant. But yes, otherwise you can just give information like non-medical information. Baby's healthy, baby is this. You will not share any medical information. It is all non-medical information that you will share, and you will use the words like healthy, baby, his weight has improved instead of writing this in that way. So just a non-medical information and further assistance. Remember the difference in non-medicals. You will not mention about the figures or vital signs high, or just write that she was normal and this and this. So always write, choose the words very carefully when you are writing. Like this director is a non-medical person, so we are not sharing any medical information. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. I clearly understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
Ma'am, can you explain me the use of sincerely and faithfully? Because if the recipient name is not given in the writing task, we have to write faithfully, and if the name is given, we have to write sincerely. Like this, I used to write. So I hope you
Yeah,
understand.
Yes.
that's right.
Yes, that's right. You can write if the name is given, you can write sincerely. If the name is not given, you can write faithfully. But let me tell, let's say your whole letter is perfect, and instead of faithfully, you have written sincerely. Trust me, you will still get marks, and they will not cut any mark for that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
As I told you, the first and third part is not counted. Okay, it doesn't make any that importance this faithfully and sincerely that they will cut marks because of you have written wrong thing or faithfully. No, they're not gonna do that. So focus mainly on the important things. But yes, as that you should know, but very well said. If the name is given, you can write sincerely. If not given, you can write faithfully. A difference in a formal and informal, basically. If it is a formal letter, because you're writing to a director here, though it is a non-medical, then of course it will be sincerely. If it is a non-medical person, like just now she said, if you're writing to a family, right? So in that case, you can write faithfully.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So, Jasleen, my question is to you that if they're given a name, that your name is this and this patient is under your care, so then we
Hmm?
have to write down faithfully and the name after?
Okay, I got your question. Um, See, your name is given is a different thing. Here, the question is not of your name. Here, we are talking about the name of the person to whom you're writing. That name.
Okay. But
Okay.
yeah, when we write name sincerely and faithfully, if they're given a name
Name of
of
the
the
person
person,
to whom you're writing. For example, in this task, the name of the person is not there. It is written Director of Refugee Shelter for Women. So you will think I can write faithfully, but instead of that, I just want to make it clear difference in a formal and informal. But yes, as you said, you be with this very clear that if the name is given, you will write sincerely. If the name is not given, you will write faithfully. But another thing, if your name is given, that doesn't
yeah.
make any sense related to this. But yes, at the end, when you write your faithfully charge nurse, or before the charge nurse, you can write, let's say your name is given Lindsay, you can write yours faithfully, Lindsay, charge nurse, medical ward.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Here.
Ma'am, could you please tell me regarding the date format?
Date format. So this is the best way to write the date. 27 February,
Yes, ma'am, because
2018. This is an Australian format.
okay, is it necessary to put a comma there? Because I asked in OET side and they told me that no need of comma. That's why I'm asking, ma'am.
in the first portion of the letter, just now somebody asked that is there important to put a comma after dear sir or madam when you write a name. If you're using
Yes.
comma or not using comma, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, only thing is you should
Okay.
write the date, name, age of the person, patient, all that information should be there. And you're putting commas. Now some of the people, students, they write the age in the next line after the reference. That is also okay.
Ma'am, if you are writing like age 69 years, is it correct?
Age 69 years, 69 years old. So there are different ways to write that. So you can write in any ways. However, to avoid any kind of a confusion, just follow a fixed pattern that aged 69.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Jasleen ma'am, I have
Yes,
one more
Raghu.
question, last one.
Yes, please.
Like
Yeah.
in the once you were writing a letter, like you said, if there is no name, then we can write dear sir slash madam. Either any
Yeah.
designations, anything like a manager, social worker, care worker, whatever is coming, there is no name. The pattern is going to be same always.
Yes, yes. Yes, you can write sir and madam. If the name is not given, you can write it.
Yeah. Any designation is coming, doesn't matter whoever, if name is not there. If name is
Yeah.
there, then second pattern is going to be always there.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
And I have one more question to Jasleen.
Mm-hmm.
If in a letter there is two scenario given for the patient, which is in the admission part and in the discharge part as well, so do we have to mention that twice?
No, no.
So
You
what
have
we gonna
to.
mention?
Yeah, that's what I said. Now I have given example here. For example, here in the discharge plan, they're talking about the psychologist. And in a second para, you can explain about where you are going to mention about her stress, where it is written that she was stressed after she was in depression since the death of parents and it was untreated. You can probably mention in the second para, and you can explain and connect this line then and there that for this reason he has been referred to the psychologist to improve
Okay.
her emotional status or anything you can write in that way to improve her relationship dynamics or to educate her about that. So you can combine it there. So this is how you have to learn how to connect the words.
But in a different scenario, then you have to put it in a admission, and then when they are transferring to one of the care, and they have to
Mhm.
follow that same scenario, so then what we have to do in that circumstances, in the situation?
Can you explain a bit more about it?
Like there is one patient, he need to transfer from one hospital to another hospital. So in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital they give him some like he, because he had a multiple fracture, so they give him a traction and neck brace and everything. So when he
Mm-hmm.
transfer, he need the same thing for another 2 weeks. So how should I mention it?
It's you can just when you're mentioning that he's on this and this has been applied, which is to be continued for another 6 weeks.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Yeah, I was getting confused. Thank you, Jasleen.
Okay, great. So any further questions? All right, guys, I hope this session was useful for everyone. And those who are my students for regular sessions, please write this letter and send to me in the group. Don't send individually, send it in a WhatsApp group. Okay, and then I will check and revert you back tomorrow. And I will share this task in the group now so that you all can write this.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Could you please
Yes,
share this task in Telegram group also, so that we also will get?
sure. I will share in that, but I will not be able to check, but I will definitely share that.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I hope you guys got some idea, and then see you guys
Ma'am,
tomorrow again. Yeah.
sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a doubt. Can we start
Yes,
a
please.
sentence with the also?
Yes, you can, but it depend on a situation. For example, if you, I hope everybody must be remembering that task of um, Benjamin, in which he has one issue that post-operatively he was semi-conscious because he was drowsy because of anesthesia, and the second thing was he lost his blood. So this is a second problem. You know, for this kind of a situation, when I first write that post-operatively he was drowsy, probably because of the effect of anesthesia, and I can, in a second line, I can write also, then always put a comma, he lost blood, this much blood, whatever is the range given. So in that situation, when I have the second, I can write also this happened. So I can use that. Definitely, I can start the sentence with the also, depending if you are using it right or not correctly.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Any more questions? Anyway, if nothing is coming in mind now, no problem. For others, even those who are not my regular students, you can also, if you have any concerns, can share your concerns in the groups if you are there in that, and probably I will answer that. Okay, so see you all tomorrow again. Bye bye, take care, good night.
Good
Good
night,
Good
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
night.
Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.